Ned Ryerson?
Bing!
Bing!
Phil, I sell insurance.
What a shock.
Do you have life insurance? Because if you do, you could always use a little more. Am I right or am I right or am I right? Right.
So maybe you have employer-paid life insurance coverage, but who couldn't use a little bit more? Am I right?
Right.
Check out this episode of the Benefit Breakdown, where we'll help you calculate how much life insurance coverage you might need, and also discuss the basics of voluntary life insurance coverage through your employer. What's up, everybody? It's Brandon Huerta with Maniachi, and this is our open enrollment series. So if you like this video, be sure to connect with us on social media and check out the rest of the series on our YouTube channel. When you hear the term voluntary life insurance, I want you to think of two beautiful words: guaranteed issue. But before we get into the details, check out our last video on employer-paid life insurance, where we discuss the importance of life insurance, but also define the term beneficiary. Remember, review your beneficiary elections every year and adjust as needed. The worst possible thing that could happen is that your life insurance benefit is paid to someone unintended, like an ex-spouse.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, so let's drill down on how much life insurance coverage is necessary. Not everybody needs life insurance, and coverage amounts will vary from person to person, but we typically recommend that you have 10 to 12 times your annual income as your life insurance benefit. Now, this is a good starting point, but if you want to dive in deeper, we can perform what's called the DIME analysis. D is for debt. If I pass away, do I have any debt that I'd want paid off? I is for income. How much income do I want to replace for my family? M is for mortgage. Do I have a mortgage that I want paid off? E is for education. Do I want to guarantee my children's education is paid for? So now that we've established how much life insurance coverage you need, let's jump into the details of voluntary life insurance. This is a supplemental policy that you can take out if you have the need, but it's at your own expense. These policies typically have 5-year age brackets, which means your premium remains the same, or your cost per paycheck, while you're within each bracket. And typically, these policies are portable, which means you can take your coverage with you if you leave your employer. By far, the best feature of voluntary life insurance is the guaranteed issue amount. This means that you might be able to take out coverage without having to answer any health questions or without having to go through a medical exam, which is awesome. This can be a great benefit for someone who's unable to obtain life insurance on the individual market due to an underlying medical condition. For those who are unfamiliar with how the individual market works, you have to complete a ton of paperwork, and you have to go through a detailed medical exam where they look at your height, your weight, your blood pressure. You have to do a urine test, a blood test. They look at your health history. They even look at your family's health history. And if the insurance company doesn't like what they see, you may be declined coverage, which means you're uninsurable and you can't get the coverage that you need. So voluntary life insurance may be your only option through this guaranteed issue window. So be mindful, because there's a window of opportunity where you can sign up for the guaranteed issue amount when you're first eligible for coverage. And each year, you can usually take out small increments of coverage without having to answer any health questions. However, if you didn't sign up when you were first eligible, or you're trying to take out coverage above the guaranteed issue amount, you may have to fill out an evidence of insurability form that asks questions about your health. If the insurance company likes your answers, then you'll likely be issued the coverage. If not, you may be declined coverage, or you may be required to go through a medical exam. And if you found this video helpful, share it with your friends and your colleagues, and check out the rest of our open enrollment series on our YouTube channel. And stay tuned for our next episode, where we help make your healthcare experience less painful.